joining us for Your Voice, Your Stories. I'm Cara Burnett. Each week we highlight important issues impacting your community. Tonight we start with a $3,000 water bill, and get this, for a house no one is living in. The family contacted Mallory Safaste after waiting for months to get answers from Baltimore City. She looked into how water meter inspections and bill adjustments work and how long they typically take, because if it's a matter to you, it's a matter for Mallory.
The EPA estimates a family of four uses around 12,000 gallons of water a month. But according to recent bills, a Baltimore woman was charged for more than 70,000 gallons, even though no one was living in the home.
This Southwest Baltimore home holds more than 60 years of memories for Janine Sullivan's family.
Every Wednesday, my grandmother would cook dinner. We all come over. It was her fried chicken dinner. We always come over.
The home is now her aunt's, but due to health issues, she moved out in July. Now Janine checks on the property and pays some of the bills, including the water.
And I looked at it. I'm ready to pay it, and it was like $1,000. I'm like, she's not living here. Why is there a bill? And then I looked at the usage, and it said it was 77,000 gallons of water. I'm like, yeah, that's a little crazy.
The city says one person uses about 3 cubic feet of water a month, or 2,200 gallons. This home was billed over 100 cubic feet, or 77,000 gallons.
I think someone would have noticed that kind of water leaking out of a house, on the ground, down the road. I'm pretty sure the street would have been flooded. Pretty sure.
Janine filed a billing dispute in October. The next month, another $1,700. In November, she filed again.
They did say they would send someone out to look at the meter, but again, that was October, and we're in February right now. Bill keeps going up. I went online at some point and said just cut off service.
With the total now over $3,600, Janine feared the home could end up in tax sale and contacted us. The city then scheduled a site visit.
Fingers crossed.
A crew came the next day, but they were there for a different leak next door.
I was hoping that you were here for that. Because I'm like, they're not selling my aunt's house because of what water bill.
A few days later, the city replaced the meter. They found no leaks or repairs and recommended Janine apply for a bill adjustment. The city couldn't share details, but Janine says she was told a running toilet may have caused the spike. She says at that level of usage, the water volume alone should have raised red flags.
I would think a hotel probably would use that kind of water. 77,000 gallons of water, that's a hotel. It's definitely not a residential home.
We asked the city about the process for requesting a water meter inspection. Customers should contact the DPW Customer Support and Services Division by email or phone. An agent can order a meter investigation if needed. DPW also says most failed meters under-register water use, not over-register it. And while a billing dispute is active, the account is not eligible for tax sale.
If we decide to get rid of the house, it's going to be our decision, not the city's.
Janine has now submitted an adjustment request. DPW says reviews typically take about 4 weeks and decisions are sent by mail. Mallory Safaste, WMAR 2 News.
As of 2020, a residential property cannot be included in a tax sale if the only line is an unpaid water bill. Now, the city also offers payment plans for water bill balances of $50 or more. Now, you can scan the QR code on your screen to see Mallory's full report. You'll find more information on how to contact DPW Customer Support and Services Division if you're having an issue with your water bill. We are talking about water bills so high, people are using creek water to flush their toilet and shower at the gym. Now, we told you about the high water rates last November in the Glen Oaks, Bel Air, Pinto, and Highlandtown Estates communities in Allegheny County. People there are turning to extreme measures. They want cheaper water rates, but don't know where to turn. Jeff Morgan is following up with lawmakers in Annapolis who are trying to fix the issue.
For just over 1,000 families in Allegheny County, the water bill is among their biggest worries.
My water bill is about $250.
Right now they're averaging about $170.
It's been averaging $500 a month for 2 people.
The community is on private water, and since the system can't spread costs between thousands of people, rates are extremely high.
It's hard to believe that people living in the United States, especially in Maryland, are living under those kind of conditions.
What's happening for these community members isn't illegal. The rates were approved.
The issue is how do we find a way that we can curb and cut their water costs while still providing them affordable service?
Hope is sitting in Annapolis. A bill sponsored by Delegate Jim Heinebaugh and Senator Mike McKay would make it so once a county makes it clear they may want to purchase a water company through a process similar to eminent domain, the rates can't be increased.
We can't do something legislatively that just takes the private water company away or forces them to cut their rates by 20, 30, 40%.
The lawmakers are pushing the legislation to get through this year. Currently, the community members are using extreme conservation efforts.
When you would wash your dishes and let the water run, you can't do that. You brush your teeth and let the water run, you can't do that. Maybe only flush every other time.
The legislation would make it more likely the county can purchase the water company, the most likely resolution to the issue.
The solution has to be Allegheny County purchases the water system. The water company has no incentive to reduce rates.
The bill has a hearing in March. In Annapolis, Jeff Morgan, WMAR 2 News.
Veterans were nearly forced to leave their doctors after a Harper County clinic was suddenly dropped from the VA's community care network. I'm Sayara Williams, your Voice for Veterans reporter, and the owner of Premier Wellness Healthcare says it's been nothing but weeks of confusion and concern.
You have reached the care in the community office with the VA Maryland Healthcare System.
Calling.
Just found her name too.
Emailing.
It requests the reason and the desired resolution.
Even writing to her local congressman. Cindy, owner of Premier Wellness Healthcare, says the last couple weeks have been nothing but concern and confusion for her, her staff, and the veterans they treat.
February 2nd, we received a call from the VA stating that, or asking us if we had stopped seeing new patients, or if, and then after that we said, no, we're still seeing new patients. Hour later, another staff member got a phone call asking if we had been removed from the network, and she said no. And that started the process of me looking to see what was going on with the insurance.
This was a surprise to Cindy because she says Optum nor the VA ever notified her that Premier Wellness Healthcare was no longer in network. Cindy was told that since January 23rd, the clinic had not been in the VA's community care network, also known as VACCN. VACCN is the VA's direct link with community providers to ensure veterans receive timely, high-quality care. Optum is part of United Health Group and serves as the third-party administrator for VACCN. This means Optum manages Premier Wellness Healthcare as a provider. The VA tells WMAR 2 News in part, quote, Optum manages provider networks and may terminate providers for reasons including licensing or certification non-compliance, unresolved audit discrepancies, potential fraud, waste and abuse, breach of contract, or failure to follow the provider manual. The VA says when a provider falls out of network, veterans are connected to other providers and care coordination notes are placed in their records to continue care if needed.
Are you sure that it's not due to a non-compliant issue or billing payments or any other factors that can contribute to you guys being removed from the network?
Not as far as my knowledge, because if we were removed from one Optum network for specific reasons, we would be removed from all, and all of our contracts would have been canceled.
And you saw all of them up there, but that one?
Yes.
About 15 veterans were in limbo. This led to canceled appointments, delayed treatment, and worried veterans.
They're devastated. They're devastated, and it's nothing right now that they can do.
Lanika Wilson, who's also a veteran, says the disruptions weren't just administrative, they were detrimental.
They could relapse. There could be an increase in symptoms. There could be some suicide risks.
Her hands were tied.
It's frustrating as a veteran to see other veterans. I have veterans sending me messages every day saying that, you know, they don't have care, what's going on.
Cindy says she spent days just waiting for a response.
But I haven't received a phone call back.
How many times did you call Optum?
At least 10, 15 times to sit on hold. That's not including the VAs, who's also a part of Optum. The amount of time that I spent over the past 2.5 weeks on the phone. That is basically what I've done for 2.5 weeks.
After WMAR 2 News reached out, communication changed. VA Community Care Network suddenly appeared on the network list for Premier Wellness Healthcare.
The resolution didn't come, or an email didn't come to let me know that we were immediately placed back in network until after the Voice for Veterans came out to interview and to inquire as to why we were put out of network and what the resolution was going to be.
In a statement, Optum tells WMAR 2 News, due to a technical error, Premier Wellness was removed from our system. We apologize for any confusion and inconvenience this may have caused. We are working directly with Premier Wellness and the VA to ensure there is no interruption to veteran care and all claims are paid appropriately. But Cindy says she still wants a clear answer on how it all happened and why it took so long to fix.
Why? Why did this happen? Why did it take so long? Why was I told this process could take 4 to 6 months when it was a click of a button that could have happened a week ago? Why? Why did I have to go through this extreme to keep the current care or the current veterans to receive their care? Why? Make it make sense.
Cindy tells me as long as the referrals from the VA have not been canceled, veterans will be able to see their providers as soon as they would like. And it is a big difference from the 4 to 6 months they were originally quoted. For now, in Hartford County, Sayera Williams, WMAR 2 News.
Right now, you're watching WMAR 2 News, part of the Scripps News Group.
February is American Heart Month, and a horse jockey turned massage therapist in Howard County wants every woman to learn from her health scare and what they can do to help their heart.
I was one of the leading female riders here. I was the leading female rider here.
Linda Pencala started her career breaking barriers in the male-dominated world of horse racing, competing in Baltimore and beyond.
And I set some records, like I was the first woman to be on the program at Laurel. So that means you're one of the top 10. In '82, I went to Japan to represent our country with other female riders, so we competed in the Ladies' Cup.
After the Japan trip, she traded the high-risk job of jockey to something more zen, massage therapist.
And the only other thing I ever like to do is use my hands. I already have strong hands. And use my hands to help other people.
Things were going well, and then about 10 years ago, Linda had to go to the ER. Her heartbeat seemed off. Her doctor said she had atrial fibrillation, or an irregular heartbeat. She asked him why this happened.
And he said, Linda, all your numbers are normal, your blood's good, everything's normal, everything's good. Sometimes we just don't know why this happens. I'm like, wow. I said, well, that's not good enough for me.
Well, that led her to find the why and share her findings in a book called The Pause to Relax. She talks about the symptoms of cardiovascular disease, how factors like stress affect the heart, and what women can do to improve their heart health.
And women can help women, because when we're together, instead of the cortisol levels up, the oxytocin levels go up. And that's the happy hormone. And then it lowers the cortisol levels. So your friends are part of the equation of helping your heart.
She also shares parts of her horse racing career in the book, weaving in the metaphor of the dangers of living life in the fast lane.
How fast horses go and how fast women go, and how we have to pause, to stop, to kind of like take inventory, if you will, and have moments to really, stop.
And we've posted links to buy Linda's book on our website. I'm Megan Knight for WMAR 2 News.
A nationally acclaimed Baltimore artist is using an unexpected medium to spark conversations about Black history and social justice. And she does it with something that we see and consume every day: food. I sat down with food designer Crystal Mack.
It makes me proud to be a Baltimorean. It makes me proud to be a Black woman.
It may look cold and bare now, but soon this 5,000 square foot backyard will be transformed into a community food garden.
We will have crops from the Black American South, from the African diaspora.
Crystal Mack lives in the historic neighborhood of Wilson Park. In 1917, Harry Wilson, one of the first Black bankers in Maryland, began building homes for families of color.
Ended up becoming one of the wealthiest Baltimoreans of his time, Black or white. Kind of live in my ancestors' dream a bit.
Though rich in history,
he founded this neighborhood as a place for respite for Black folks.
But here's the present reality. Wilson Park is now considered a food desert desert. More than 30% of households do not have a vehicle, and the nearest supermarket is more than a quarter-mile away. Crystal hopes to bring prosperity and access back.
We've practiced sustainability for a very long time as Black people.
As a food designer, Crystal's work is all about cooking together her two loves, food and art, and using that to drive social change.
Like, the Montgomery bus boycott, that was funded through bake sales.
Her library is stacked with about 400 cookbooks, some featuring her own work.
And when I was low on okra from my own garden, I'd buy from Black farmers in Baltimore.
From the pages of books to the halls of galleries, Crystal's design studio partnered with the Walters Art Museum to honor the legacy of Sibby Grant. Sibby was an enslaved cook who once lived in what is now the basement of the Townhouse Gallery.
I don't think a lot of people think about slavery in Baltimore City, but it existed.
Even though Sibby wrote down all the recipes she created, she was never allowed in the dining room.
I thought it was really important for this woman's voice to be heard and acknowledged.
And another project that sparked a lot of conversation, one of Crystal's first designs, titled Table of White Supremacy. The showcase at the Baltimore Museum of Art was a visual commentary about people of color often being underrepresented or overlooked in the most powerful places, despite having a seat at the table.
Not so much designing like a product, but more so designing interactions.
Crystal also gives new life to recipes rooted in a murky past.
I feed it things like sweet potato, and that's just to keep the indigo alive.
Indigo was a major cash crop during the transatlantic slave trade. To process the plant, enslaved workers endured harsh and toxic conditions, all to produce that prized dye for clothing.
I wanted to find a way to work with food that could be like restorative.
But her work isn't just about history, it's also healing. One project close to her heart is How to Take Care, a guide filled with recipes and stories.
It was kind of rooted in my experience of growing up in an abusive household as a child.
Proceeds went to organizations like the House of Ruth, supporting survivors of domestic and intimate partner violence.
I wasn't expecting it to have such a large reach and impact.
Up next, she's building her own studio space.
I never saw something like this for me. I did not go to art school or culinary school. I did not go to college.
But she says it hasn't been easy as one of the few Black women working in food design in the region.
When they're devaluing the work that I'm doing, it's almost kind of like they're devaluing the work of their grandmothers or their ancestors or their mothers. Which is kind of heartbreaking. It's been difficult to build that path, but the thing that kind of gives me hope and pride and joy is knowing that in building that path, there are other folks behind me that have an easier way to go.
Our special Bridging the Gap stories for Black History Month are brought to you by the owners and operators of the Washington, D.C., Greater Baltimore, and Eastern Shore McDonald's. Make sure you check out our digital versions on WMAR2news.com. Just scan the QR code on your screen and it will take you there. Artist Run It Up Jordan wants the world to know he is serious about his music. And as Randall Newsom tells us, he's hoping his first album shows everybody what he can do.
Come on. That's toy. Timing. With music, it's everything. And Run It Up Jordan, an artist with something to prove, has been looking for the right time to make a statement.
Rap, R&B, house, club music, whatever you want to throw in front of me, I can make the song.
When he thinks perfect timing, he thinks 220.
220 is just a day a star was born.
It's also the day he releases his debut album. Now, he's had singles, but with this first full body of work, he believes there's a couple tracks you'll have on repeat. There's Walk It Out.
It's gonna feel like a cookout, summer type record, outside pool. It's gonna feel like one of those feel good family records.
Then there's Better Than Me, a vibe his fans are very familiar with.
I don't think you're gonna be able to sit down when you hear that song come on. You probably just wanna get up, dance, all types of stuff.
Hit the bot when the button is over. Making you dance, always top of mind. No matter how far music takes him, he wants that Baltimore feel to resonate with his audience.
Being born and raised in Baltimore is like, it's a certain energy that comes with it. I think everybody in the city carries this energy.
As you can see, energy never been a problem for Jordan. That's how you come up with the Baltimore Bop. But leading the way on this album is the Bop 2.0. And in this era of entertainment, when you're promoting your music, having a viral dance that you created definitely helps.
Kids like what's trending. So as long as they like me, I feel like I'm trending. I'm relevant, I'm popping, I'm lit. I just love that they like something positive.
But for the record, let's get something straight. There is a right and a wrong way to do it.
The internet doesn't really understand what the bop really looks like.
Energy matters, obviously. What about the swinging of the arms?
Yeah, you definitely gotta swing your arms.
Okay.
A lot of people like just punch to the ground.
Why are people punching?
I don't know.
Jordan has been grading people all over the world trying their shot at the bop.
He's swinging the arms. I'm like, but the bounce is completely off. Like he's
bounce
not.
Is insane.
Of course, for the kids, no notes.
They automatically get an 8 for effort, one. And I don't want no smoke with y'all parents.
No,
that's what I
smart. That's good marketing.
Okay, adults, they get the real grades.
Wait.
Jersey Joe.
Jordan.
Yeah.
Jersey Joe. Jersey Joe? That was not a 9. South Korea? Mexico, what is that?
I do not know.
You can't say it. You know, you're the artist. Germany did not need a better rating. They're right where they needed to be, 6.5.
Clearly, we need to show everybody what a 10 looks like.
Yeah, 5, 6, 5, 6, 7, let's go.
I've been stretching. Yeah. You see the knees? It's gotten better since the beginning.
All in the knee work, bro.
I can't believe y'all.
Don't skip leg day.
So, if you want to get a 10 out of 10 like us, here's what you do. Download the album, then practice as much as you want, and before you know it,
come on.
I can't believe y'all. I can't believe it.
Come on, people, step your game up. Get your bop on.
If you have stories you would like us to cover, we want to hear from you. You can email us at storyideas@wmar.com. And that's going to do it for us. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to tune in again next week for your voice, your stories. I'm Cara Burnett.